Hello, good morning. This is Come Home America. I am your host, Nick Hankoff, and this is episode 7 of the podcast that narrates and navigates America's twin crises in order and identity. And today is the big day. We are done fighting about who should be the next president, and now we can start fighting about who is the next president, right? It's going to get even more intense. So this is what we've been building up to. Either it's going to be what I have on my map here and all our worries will be assuaged. Like, no, don't even sweat it. You can go outside. No one will be rioting or protesting at all. Or, oh wait, that's the opposite. We were told that if Joe Biden wins in a landslide, that's the only safe route. But this is what I actually think is going to happen. 312 electoral votes for Trump, a bigger win than he had in 2016. And, well, we will find out. And maybe a lot of you are watching this after the election, and so I'm going to have some material for you as well. But just quickly, building up to today's big day, polls have only just opened on the East Coast, and it's going to be a long day. We have a few states to look at. I'm not going to analyze the map. You can watch some other great channels for that. But I've been watching what other people have been analyzing, and this is what I think is a reasonable map. And so we are going to go through that a little bit. But in addition to that, of course, we'll be talking about the fallout, because that's what this is really all about. As I say, we've been talking about who should be the next president. Now it's going to be who is the next president, which is a bit more of a dicey question, which is why people are going to be out in the streets today just waiting for a signal to go off. And, if it is a huge Biden landslide, there's not going to be any level of street violence that there will be if there is a Trump marginal victory or a landslide. And we're told also by the corporate press and the social media companies to not anticipate any official announcement of a winner tonight. And we'll see if they hold to their word on their side. But we will probably know who the winner is by tomorrow. Whether or not they'll want to acknowledge that is up for, time will tell. But hopefully we know a pretty good idea tonight, and then maybe the day after the election we wake up and actually get a real clear picture of it. But look, if it is Trump, they're going to try and steal it. They tried to steal the 2016 election for 4 years, and now that's going to happen in 2022. That's my prediction. So we have on the map real quick. Let's check out my prediction. I left out New Hampshire. Trump could win New Hampshire, but for whatever reason, I just don't have faith in that state. The live free or die state, I think it's a lot of hype. So I'm not giving New Hampshire to Trump on my map. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. In Nevada, I think he could have an edge. And those two states kind of go together, Nevada and New Hampshire, because there's a lot of independent voters. And so they're interesting swing states for Trump that can make a big difference in a close race. But I am pulling for Nevada. That's some wishful thinking on my part to put Nevada in the red, but we will see. I would like to put New Mexico in the red, but I did not do that. I showed some restraint, and I am not rose-colored glasses. It's not a landslide, okay? 312 is a big victory. It's not really a landslide. A landslide would be he also wins New Hampshire, Minnesota, and then probably New Mexico too, if not more than that. Would be a huge landslide. But I think it'll be relatively close. I do think he can hit 312, but it could be like a 290 range. He could lose some of these states that I've put in the red. He could lose Michigan. He could even lose Pennsylvania. I think the consensus is that he's taking Florida, so I don't expect him to lose that. I know North Carolina, they talk about tipping blue. But I just don't see Biden winning. I really don't. I don't see Trump losing all of these states. And so I'm setting myself up for a huge disappointment if that's the case, right? I'll be in 2016. You can go on YouTube, you can find the all the people crying at Clinton headquarters in New York or DC, wherever it was. You can go back and watch those and enjoy yourself. Some of them actually have Murray Rothbard laughing along to them, so that's a nice treat. I'll be watching that today. But what if I'm in the next one? What if I'm in the 2020 Trump crybaby videos? My rickety studio falling apart. But it could be me. So I'm trying to enjoy this while it lasts. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's my call. So why do I say this? What's thrusting Trump into a bigger victory than 2016 by my estimation? I've written a couple articles up today on the American Conservative is the Libertarian case for Trump, and that is based on roughly. It's not in the same style or whatever, so you're not gonna get it at this high caliber. Trust me. But Murray Rothbard wrote an article in 1992 in the LA Times endorsing George H.W. Bush, if you can believe that. Anyone who knows Rothbard would be shocked, right? Unless they knew him well. So Rothbard wrote an article endorsing George H.W. Bush against Bill Clinton in 1992, saying that it wasn't soul satisfying to do this as a libertarian, as Mr. Libertarian that he was, but he did it to, quote, hold back the hordes for 4 years. And he said then after that, maybe someday we could do the soul-satisfying work of crushing left liberalism and crushing statism and really pushing for liberty and a libertarian order. And he didn't know when that day would come. He said, when, oh, when can we start that work? And I think the work begins with a second Trump term because, and as I list in the article, Trump is not a lesser of two evils. Libertarians talk about a lesser of two evils. I have to hold my nose and vote for this. And I think Rothbard did that with George H.W. Bush, that George Bush to him was a lesser of two evils, and he played that game. And so many libertarians online decide that, oh, I'm above it all, I'm so smart, and I'm not a slave, and yada, yada, that I'm not going to play the lesser than two evils game. Pardon me. So they say that they are voting third party, Libertarian Party, or that they'll not vote at all. And I take this apart in the article because Trump is not a lesser of two evils, okay? Lesser than two evils is sometimes, maybe usually, a fallacy. And you can really see this if you understand the double effect principle, where you say you have a choice that has an evil outcome. There's some evil outcome that comes from that choice. It doesn't necessarily make that choice or that action itself evil, okay? And so in terms of electoral politics, you are selecting a candidate like Trump for the positives, for the good, for the side that fits into a libertarian order. If you want to pursue that, well, there are negative consequences from a Trump vote. Negative things will happen. They're bound to happen. They've been happening. Trump is no angel. Trump is not perfect, and in fact, some of his policies are anti-liberty. Believe it or not. So libertarians say, oh, lesser of two evils, I'm not doing it. Well, not so fast. That's an excuse that is based on a fallacy. And so I explain that in the article, that when you choose a good, as long as the good outweighs the bad and none of the bad is a means to a good end, basically you're good. You're good. And so, Trump is certainly a lesser of two evils if you really wanted to frame it that way, but I think you don't have to. I think it's much better than that. Trump is actually a positive victory for libertarians. And, I list the reasons why. Some folks just cannot be reasoned with. I mean, they're getting all mad and doing the laugh react on Facebook. My friend Craig calls that a soy face laugh, which is pretty funny. But so at the very least, consider this. Consider which administration you would rather have the ear of, have the influence of. And there are these libertarians who think that the Biden administration is going to listen to them. I mean, Trump will listen. Trump listens to Rand Paul. Does Rand Paul not listen to libertarians? Trump has a libertarian in his housing finance administration, some department of housing sector on finance. There's a libertarian heading that, as I list in the article. We've got non-interventionists being nominated to be ambassadors to Germany and Afghanistan, and Trump promising to bring the troops home. We've heard that before, right? But he is pursuing that to some degree, and maybe not the way we like it. But if he wants to have an anti-war ambassador, why should we deny him that? Why should we deny ourselves that? So these libertarians for Biden, they come from Reason magazine mostly. I mean, I haven't even heard, maybe I should go look deeper, but I haven't even heard this from like the Cato Institute types. And this libertarian infighting may not be interesting to most people, but just quickly, like an outrageous amount of Reason staffers actually brag about voting for Joe Biden. They'll say that they're doing it reluctantly or something, but it's like, I don't know. I thought the definition of reason was to think logically. And but I guess that's another word that's definition is changing so rapidly in the society today. Reason magazine's criminal justice reporter is voting for Biden and Harris. So there you have it, kind of in a nutshell. And you don't have libertarian organizations standing up proactively saying vote for Trump. You'll find out who's voting for Trump, in a few places, some individuals, but no large organizations really representing that front. And Reason magazine is just either don't vote Joe Jorgensen, or like the really cool kids are voting for Biden over there, it's just a shame. They had one person at Reason voting for Trump, and he wrote like 5 paragraphs apologizing before he said, and I'm going to vote for Trump and not liking it. So that's how they're represented. But that's the wrong path for libertarians, man. So I wrote about that for the American Conservative, and I have another article at the American Conservative which got some fun reactions. The Vote for the Good Dad this November. And, I talk about Trump as the good father, the fatherly leader, because he took the mask off. He told us, don't be afraid. Go out there, make something of yourself, take risks. Like a father is an encouraging person who, sort of purposefully puts you in some danger, right? He doesn't coddle you. And so he puts you out there. And then Biden would be the opposite of that, except Biden's even just worse. He's an absent father, a jealous father, restricting you, keeping you from your potential because, he is jealous that you're the future and he's dying out. This sort of archetype. So I draw on Jordan Peterson for this article, and people were so mad, and I knew they would be mad, but it's like they never heard of anyone comparing the president to a dad before. Like Obama wasn't that, Bush wasn't that, Reagan wasn't that, even Clinton wasn't that. Like every president at some point is like compared to a loving father, and it's always been a joke. But I thought for Trump in this instance, it sort of worked. So I put it out there. Maybe a little tongue-in-cheek, but not much really. It got tweeted out by the White House correspondent for CNN. It got tweeted out by neocons freaking out. So lots of blue check marks, which has never happened to me or my articles before. So that was pretty fun. But I bring up these things, the libertarian victories and the fatherly figures, sort of things to help, help push this new cohesion of paleo-conservatives, paleo-libertarians, libertarians, common sense libertarians. And, this coalition has been around a long time. It went away and now it's coming back. And so, I put these two pieces together for the American Conservative, hoping that it would encourage some people with, maybe on the fence or on the, not thinking of things from a fresh perspective. Maybe it would encourage them to support Trump or vote for Trump, Do what you got to do and vote for Trump. But today is election day. If you're not sure, vote for Trump. You have my permission. You'll be cool with me. I'm not going to be mad at you. And it's fun seeing the people get mad at you on social media because there's never anything original. It's the same critique, and it's as if I had never heard this stuff going back 20 years at this point now. I mean, it's maybe not 20. Close, but 15 years or so of being in the liberty movement. It's like it's the anti-Trump voices out there are all bad from the left and from the libertarian side. And so be anti-Trump, as Justin Raimondo once put it. I found out that Bill Kristol also was anti-Trump, so whatever. Okay. Well, my friends, that is sort of my election analysis. You know, we're going to have a good time. If Trump loses, you know, just look to your local races. The country's breaking apart. The show is called Come Home America, but you know what I mean? It's like we don't know where America is. We don't know where America's home is. The whole point of the show is to navigate and find out where that is and narrate the path there. One exciting thing for me today is being in Indiana, I get to find out who my next governor is going to be. And it really could be anyone. It could be a Republican, a Democrat, or the Libertarian Party candidate who I voted for. So Libertarians suck on that. I voted for Donald Rainwater. So I'm not, owned part and parcel by the Republican Party or something. So we have that in Indiana, and if Trump loses, you know, a lot of the people in the audience anyway are Trump fans or libertarians or whatever. But even if the Biden fans are out there, you know, if your guy loses, whoever your guy is, if Joe Jorgensen loses, don't riot. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I've got another special election episode coming up, so we are going to analyze that. You all have a great rest of your day, but watch out for the next episode of Come Home America here on Election Day. It's going to help you cope with whoever the winner or loser is. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Come Home America, Episode 7. My name is Nick Hankoff. Peace.